welcome back. Today I want to show you how I brew kombucha tea. This is kombucha, and for those of you who follow the channel will notice that it's generally sitting over there in the corner just quietly doing its thing. Now, I've never talked about kombucha tea before, so I'm going to give you a little primer, and I'm going to show you it's a several-part process. The first part is the first ferment, or the first brewing, which is this. This has been sitting on my counter for about 2 weeks brewing. It's done, and it's ready for the second ferment. So I'm going to show you the process of both making tea for the original ferment and the process for the second ferment. Now, kombucha is often called mushroom tea. The reason being is it has this floating slime ball it's a zoglial mat. It's called a SCOBY, which is an acronym for a symbiotic colony of yeast and bacteria. So the yeast and bacteria in each SCOBY is slightly different. The different strains make up this zoglial mat, or the mother is what we call it. So I'm going to pull her out and show you how fantastic and awesome she is. So when you're working with your SCOBY, they can be cross-contaminated, so you want to make sure you wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. I've washed my hands twice already, but I'm going to wash them a third time. And then we're going to transfer her into her hotel. Lastly, we're going to take our SCOBY hotel, the contents of our SCOBY hotel, we're going to brew a new batch of tea. And once it's cool, we'll put our mother and the old tea back in this. And the old tea just helps recharge and start off with an acidic environment so that the yeasts don't overrun. The interesting thing about the SCOBY is it has both yeast and bacteria. The yeast convert the sugars into alcohol. The bacteria convert the alcohol into acid. And so this sugar that we're adding to sweeten it, this is not for us. This is food for our SCOBY. When you let the SCOBY eat up all of that sugar, the resulting beverage isn't really sweet at all. It's more sour than sweet. So here is the SCOBY. Now this beauty came to me from one of my subscribers. Here's the original one that Sherry sent me. Thank you, Sherry. And this is the original mother. And then these little goodies, they're layers actually. These are her babies. I'm just going to put them all back in my next batch. I'm going to put them in my hotel right now. The more SCOBYs you have, the faster the brewing, so the faster the fermentation. And you can easily take a piece of one of these and start a new batch. It will just take you longer to ferment until it establishes a nice thick SCOBY. And they'll just keep having babies, and they'll just keep getting thicker and bigger and gooier. And you can give them away to friends, or you can start successive batches. So I'm going to pour, this is about 3/4 of a liter of tea into my hotel and keep this. Now I'm just going to let this sit here for just a little bit because I'm going to immediately make another batch. I know what you're thinking. Why would I drink tea that has this slimy mushroom thing growing in it? That's disgusting. Because it's probiotic, and this beverage is so good for your gut flora, and researchers and scientists are starting to understand the link between good health and a healthy gut. I'm going to start my kettle and brew another batch of tea because it needs to cool before you can add your mother culture back into it. You don't want to kill her, and she doesn't like being over 90 degrees. So in order to facilitate that, because if you brew hot tea, like this much hot tea, it will take hours for it to cool. So I follow Sandor Katz's instructions where you make a small amount of really, really strong tea and then you dilute it with cold water. And then it's either in the wintertime when the water out of the tap is really cold, it's ready for you to add your mother culture right back in immediately. In the summer, sometimes I have to add an ice cube to kind of speed it up. SCOBYs eat tannins. A lot of people think they eat tea, which isn't true, and they don't need caffeine. They need tannins. If you want to get away from the caffeine, you can try a combination of hibiscus flower, raspberry or grape leaves, and elderberries. And I've heard people have wild success as long as every one of the ingredients has tannins in it, you'll be okay. So to make a really strong concentrated tea, I basically just fill up this basket with tea and let it steep for about 5 minutes. Now, you will hear people say you cannot use tea with any flavorings whatsoever. It will kill your SCOBY. This is Earl Grey tea. That means it's black tea with bergamot oil in it. That is a flavored tea. I started using oolong and Ceylon tea for several years in my last kombucha, and I read there's a company that makes kombucha commercially in Portland, and they only use Earl Grey tea. So I tried it, and I'm a convert. It makes fantastic kombucha. You can also use a combination of green and black tea as well. The Genmaicha tea, the green tea with the toasted rice, is another flavored tea that makes really delicious kombucha. So experiment with it and find something that you love. Kombucha is a fairly new concept here in the States. It's only been around since like the 90s, but kombucha tea has been brewed in China. It's been recorded for at least 5,000 years and probably beyond that. So this is not some new health craze that's going around. This is a really time-tested drink that people have evolved with. Oh, Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time.